and welcome to Talking Schmidt. I'm your host, Eric Schmidt.
Hello, I'm Greg Burmeister.
And today we have our good friend, Travis Craw. Travis, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Hey, good to be here.
Travis, you sent me some notes about your life, and I wanted to get started with this. I recently went to Mexico and visited the pyramids in Mexico, which a lot of people don't even know Mexico has pyramids. I understand you've also visited those pyramids. Are they the ones near Mexico City?
Well, I have been there, but I've also been to the ones in the Yucatan.
Oh, I didn't know there were ones in the Yucatan.
Yeah. So
already we're learning so much. This is great. Okay, sorry. So go ahead.
Oh, right. Yeah. So there's. I think that the Aztecs are up by Mexico City. The Mayans are down at the end of Mexico, like at the tip.
Did you climb
that's
both?
Where Tulum is. Yeah. So,
the same trip? You went when you were like 13, right?
Yeah. When I was 13, I was mostly down in Tulum.
Okay. So you climb the pyramids. That's not allowed anymore, right?
That's not allowed anymore. Well, I mean, it's not why we got in trouble.
You got in trouble?
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
So I did, when I was growing up, I grew up with my uncle. I did a lot of traveling with him around, and he's very particular about sort of peak experiences.
Sure, I am too. This sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. So we arrived at, I forget what it's called, like the big pyramid down in Tulum, and he says, well, we have to see, it closes at like 5 p.m. He's like, but we have to see it at sunset. Because that's the best time to be in a pyramid.
Is that the best time to be in any pyramid? Sunset? He just really likes the golden hour?
He pretty much thinks that's the best time to be anywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's like
just the best time of day.
Just give or take.
Guy loves sunsets, you know?
You can't blame him.
So we ended up just jumping the fence after it was closed.
Okay. And did he bring adult beverages with him? I mean, is he that kind of sunset guy?
Not to my memory, but I was young enough that like there were probably some things I missed.
Yeah, sure. So you were how old? Sorry.
It's like 12, 13.
Okay.
Like,
so your uncle is like, let's hop this fence and climb this pyramid.
Yeah. So we hopped the fence, climbed the pyramid. It was incredible. Like, I mean, it is the best time to be at a pyramid is at sunset and on the beach. Except the like security guard policemen don't think so.
Yeah, that would put a damper on things, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So they just saw you?
They just saw, like, we were just like walked out the front door basically.
Yeah, it's not
We weren't trying to be too.
They didn't catch you till after.
Yeah,
so like you would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, I think we were just nonchalant. I think we were just like, well, we're all right now. And that's my first experience bribing the police.
Bribing the police.
Yeah, well, I mean, my uncle bribed the police. I didn't bribe the police.
Sure.
I think it's more common.
I've heard that's kind of the case down there. You know, if you do something, as long as you're not murdering someone, you know, if it's a minor crime, you can just kind of toss him some pesos.
How much do you think he gave him? Do you remember?
I don't know. I should ask.
We'll have to have him on.
A carton of cigarettes.
It'd be a much better show. I promise you.
Was that your first run-in with the law?
Yeah, I think so.
Mexican police, huh? Did you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish?
I don't speak Spanish, no.
But your uncle does,
yeah.
or?
I mean, yeah. He's from Texas, so like Texas, like half Spanish.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And you didn't end up in a Mexican prison, which is great.
No.
But that's not the first, I guess that was maybe like your first like rough, like tough guy act was getting busted by the police, bribing the police with a family member. This thing that you told me that I want to get into next is that you like beat up in high school. Did you beat up the high school quarterback?
I didn't. He kind of beat himself up.
Okay. Let's start at the beginning. What happened, Travis? Why don't you tell us what happened?
No, most of my like rough and tumble stories are like me being extremely nerdy, and then just kind of getting into trouble. But we were in 8th grade. We were like out on Halloween, and it was like that. There's like the kind of kids going for candy, and then like the high school hooligans throwing eggs at everybody.
Was 8th grade high school for you?
No.
Okay.
We were like on the like. We were
so you were in middle school and injured the high school quarterback.
Yeah.
Wow. Was he a senior?
He was like rising senior. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So keep going. What happened?
Well, it's just like we were nerdy kids. Like I think we were all dressed as Harry Potter characters. Like really like pretty lame. And these like guys were throwing eggs at everybody, and instead of running, we just walked up to him and we're like, "Hey guys, stop it!"
Stood your ground, made a stand. That's great.
I respect that.
And they,
I wouldn't do that, but I respect that you did.
Yeah, and I think they were so much fucking bigger than us. They were just
Well, sure. I mean, that's a big jump in age. Like that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So they're like trying to intimidate us, and this guy, not Tim Bragg.
Well, I don't know if we need to use full names.
I don't know what he does. No, he grabs one of these like wizard sticks.
Okay.
Trying to like make a point of how like he was gonna kick our ass.
One of your wizard sticks.
Yeah. And breaks it over his knee.
Oh shit.
And then immediately breaks his own knee.
Oh my God! Did he also break the wizard stick?
He did break the wizard stick. Yeah.
Wow.
He went full Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
So kind of like a tie, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
So he was out for the season.
Jeez, that's fucking dude.
That's
okay,
hilarious.
so yeah, you didn't do that.
No, I
Was it even your stick?
Yeah, it was my stick.
Okay, all right. Well, for story's sake, let's say it was your stick. Okay. Well, did he was out for the season? Did he go on? And again, we don't want to give too much information. We don't want to like dox this person. But did he like get to play? Did he ever play football again? Do you know?
I can't.
Did you end his career with your fucking Harry Potter stick? Now that's magic. That is some magic. Well,
I don't think he played again.
Oh, jeez. Well, this is sad.
At least he learned his lesson.
Yeah,
Quit
that's
picking
true.
on younger kids.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So you grew up in Hawaii, right?
I did until.
Were you born in Hawaii?
I was born in Hawaii.
Cool.
Until I was about 8 years old. So
what's growing up in Hawaii like? Were you near the water? Were you? But this is the second episode we've talked about Hawaii.
A lot of Hawaii.
We've turned into a real Hawaii episode.
What was the other Hawaii episode?
Our friend Lori, she was on the last episode, and
she just spent 3 weeks in Hawaii.
Yeah. So if you're into Hawaii and you're listening to this episode,
the place to be.
Finish this episode, go back, listen to that episode. But yeah. So sorry, you what was growing up in Hawaii like?
At school?
I would imagine it's cool.
No, it's great. I mean, I think like when you're a little kid, everything's just kind of normal. It's like what you do. Mm-hmm. Went to the beach a lot, went swimming a lot. Like,
did you live near the water? Or?
We lived like up on a ridge that kind of looks over the water. You could see the water. So yeah, we lived up in like the hills, but pretty close to the water in Hawaii Kai, which is the like, sort of suburbs of Honolulu.
Oh, okay. So you lived in like that's the big island, right? That's what they call it.
No, it's on Oahu. The big island is the island of Hawaii.
Whoa, there's an island called Hawaii?
Yeah.
And then like the next biggest one is Honolulu?
No. Okay, so the biggest island is called Hawaii.
Okay.
Which is then referred to as...
This is great. We're learning
the big island.
Honolulu is
and then Honolulu is the city on Oahu.
Honolulu is not its own...
No. Oahu is the
next biggest island.
Yeah. And the most populous island, for sure. Like, that's where,
really?
like... Yeah.
Why don't more people live on the bigger island?
I don't know.
Seems like the folks out in Hawaii got it a little backwards, if you ask me.
No, the Big Island is like it's much more agricultural. So I don't know. I can tell you like the whole history, but
sure, go into it.
No, Honolulu I think was always like the port, and was like where a lot of the trading was, where like a lot of the Western powers were. Hawaii, the island, was actually controlled more by the Hawaiians.
Okay.
So like the native Hawaiian, the kingdom, like the monarchy, sat on the island of Hawaii.
Is it more like volcanically active on the Big Island? Is that maybe why more people don't live there, or are they all pretty active?
It's got active volcanoes. So
like every single one of them is an active volcano.
No. So the island of Hawaii has I think the only active volcanoes. So the bigger the island, the younger the island. So that's like the volcanoes are rising up, and then like the smaller, more eroded ones are the older islands.
I never realized how little I knew about Hawaii. This is kind of alarming. I'm like alarmed at how stupid I am. This is rough for me.
Same. I'm just like I like palm trees and water, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's most of it. The rest is details.
But so you grew up there with your folks, and were they both adventurers, or just your dad, or?
And they're both pretty adventurous.
Okay.
So my dad is like from Hawaii, like born and raised there. My family goes back there a while. My mother moved out there to be a marine biologist.
Okay, where was she from?
She's from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, so your uncle is your dad's.
My mother's brother.
Or, sorry, your mom's. Yeah.
So, but yeah, like hang gliding, skydiving, scuba diving.
For like a living? Like,
no,
just
for
adventure.
fun.
Oh, okay.
Just like for
doing freelance adventuring.
my dad, like for a living built the like, you know, the big inflatable slide in the airplane.
Yeah.
That's my dad, like, made this.
Whoa, that's so cool.
He sold the, like, life rafts to commercial airplanes.
Wow, that's rad. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, but, like, just generally into adventuring, did they do, like, film things ever, or?
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I think they were the subject. So, well, one thing my dad used to... I think occasionally, this is maybe once or twice, but would like help with like National Geographic shoots.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so they would do like when they do on like Shark Week or whatever, when they do the cage, like the videographer's in the cage, the sharks are outside. My dad was outside the cage.
Okay.
He was like the defense team.
Whoa.
So they've got these.
What does a defense team do exactly?
It's got like a spear gun.
Well, they've got these things called bang guns. That is just
makes a loud noise. I guess.
Makes a loud noise. It's just gunpowder, so there isn't a bullet or anything, but you can like hit a shark with it. And it kind of explodes.
Jeez.
So yeah, if anything got out of hand.
Yeah. There's no projectile. It's like a stun gun.
Yeah, it's basically a stun gun for a shark. Yeah. Exactly.
Did they work together a lot? Your folks?
No, I think like that stuff was like recreational. My
mother
was a teacher.
You mentioned she was a marine biologist and then became a teacher.
Yeah, she became like a science teacher. So she did like marine biology for 5-year-olds.
Okay, and they passed away when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
So they were in a helicopter accident.
What was going on? If you don't mind talking about it.
Yeah. No, it's my father also had a pilot's license, and he had bought a helicopter.
Wow. What an interesting fella, and your mom too. I mean, these guys, what interesting lives, man.
Yeah. So he had fairly recently purchased this helicopter. I guess he worked at the airport. You know, he was like in aviation, and it just like malfunctioned. So they were flying between islands.
Was it just two of them? Or?
Yeah, just the two of them. Day trip between islands, malfunctioned and like crashed off the coast of Waikiki.
So in the water.
Yeah.
Man, that's terrible. How old were you?
I was 6.
Wow. You went like pretty immediately to be like live with your uncle?
Yeah, my family like came out immediately to the. This isn't like funny.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. Well, that was. So that's good. You saved it.
I'm not sure what kind of podcast you're running here. No, my family came out and spent a couple years with me out there.
It'd be really weird if we didn't talk about it, though. You know, like I feel like we kind of have to. So, but anyway, sorry, they came out.
Oh yeah, so my family came out and spent a couple years in Hawaii, like not to dislocate me, and then I moved out in 3rd grade to New York.
Wow.
So that's what brought me out to New York.
So your uncle lived here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like a New York guy.
Cool. And what was it like? He's like a lifelong bachelor, right?
Lifelong
bachelor.
I
met him at your wedding. I mean, I'm pretending I don't know him for like question purposes, but like I've met the guy. He's a very interesting man. But yeah, just like. It must have been interesting being raised by him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a very he was living downtown. Like he was living in like a loft off Union Square, like being a New York bachelor, and then suddenly adopted a 9-year-old. Wow. And like moved to the suburbs.
What a completely different life, not only for him, but like, I mean, for you going from Hawaii to New York. I mean, that's just fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
I mean, both islands, I guess, but other than that,
polar
very,
opposites.
very opposite.
Yeah. Well, no, and the thing is, we moved in 1996, the blizzard of '96.
Okay.
So yeah. I was like a little island boy who'd like I'd seen snow, I'd been skiing, but like I never like lived somewhere where
Hawaii doesn't really have much for seasons, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. But I've been to California.
Nice.
Just one season, nice. Perfect weather.
Yeah. But I moved here in the blizzard of '96 when it just like epic snowstorms. You know, I guess you weren't here at that time.
No, I didn't live here until 2009.
Yeah, like people got like snowed into their houses. Like I remember, like
did you move here that month? Like in December?
Moved in like September.
Wow,
and then that winter. Yeah, so I just assumed that was winter. I assumed that every winter would be that, because that's kind of what you like picture as a kid. Also, you're like, yeah, it's gonna snow like all the time.
Yeah, I think we had like a snowstorm in 2009 when I moved here, and then it just never. It hasn't snowed since then. It's just,
we have not seen one snowflake.
Yeah. It's great. I think we're actually in a sweet spot as far as climate change goes. Like we're gonna get to have like pretty nice winters for the rest of our lives. Now, your son. That's gonna get rough.
Yeah. I'd take a bit more snow. Like you know, I feel like if it's gonna be cold, it might as well snow. You know?
Well, sure, yeah, obviously. Like if it's much prettier when it snows than when it's just like 20s and gray all winter.
Yeah,
like I would definitely much rather have snow. But then again, I don't have a house. Like I don't have to shovel that shit. So I imagine your opinion on that changes a bit.
Oh yeah,
the level of responsibility you have to have.
Yeah, I grew up in Minnesota, and we had a 3-car garage. So, and you know, we get 4 or 5 feet of snow at a time. So trying to clear out a 3-car driveway when it snows 4 feet is not much fun.
And I remember when I was a kid, like hurricanes would come, and I always thought that was really fun, you know, because like we'd get off school and we'd get to have like parties.
As
and,
a kid, the perks are
I would tell
pretty nice.
I'd tell my parents, I'd be like, "Oh man, I love it," and they're like, "You love it because you don't own the house, dickhead. Like you don't have to pay for if the roof gets partially fucked up." Like, do you guys had are they called different things out there? Or are they called hurricanes?
Tsunamis.
So the only day we ever got off of school when I was in Hawaii was a tsunami warning.
Wow.
Like you don't get like there are like the weather's generally just pleasant all the time. So there was one time there was a tsunami warning. It was similar. Like so I just we were off school and I just sat by the window all day just waiting for it. Like someone was like, nothing happened.
That's the tsunami is the big
wave.
The big
wave.
Yeah. But they don't have hurricanes out in the Pacific?
Not like Hawaii's so small, most things miss it. Like, you know, it's just.
Yeah, but hurricanes are big, so I feel like Bermuda gets hit by hurricanes.
I don't remember ever being off for a hurricane.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It may happen,
but
man, it's not like Florida, like where it's like
constantly under
like
threat.
Clockwork, you know.
Yeah, but wait, so tsunami? Were you worried that it was? Were you worried? Were you filled with like dread, or?
I just wanted to see it, like, because I just sort of assumed cartoon style.
You got that adventure. You got that adventurer in you, man.
Like the movie Deep Impact. It's just like that massive wave.
So wait, you recently had a son, correct?
I did.
And tell us about
congratulations.
Congratulations. Tell us about the name that you gave your son.
Oh yeah.
If you want to dox your kid, you can do that.
I mean, it's not that crazy. His name's Alexander Craw.
Wonderful name.
Yeah, he's my middle name's Alexander, so it's sort of a family name. It goes back. But we figured out sort of like after. He has an ancestor named Alexander Craw, who was actually the first Craw ever to go to Hawaii. This Scottish dude who went out there. And my son Alex is the first Craw to be born on the mainland in 100 years.
Wow,
interesting.
Some interesting history going on there. Craw. So that's a Scottish name?
Yeah, Scottish.
Now, I've been calling Travis Crawdad
for
the entire time I've known him, and it's one of those nicknames where it like doesn't match him at all. Whenever I'm like, "This is my friend Crawdad," people are like, "What?"
It's like very southern.
Yeah, this is the least Crawdad man I've ever met. He's from an island, brother. I tell you.
I spent some time in Texas. Where,
see, there you go.
Yeah, it sounds like a man who would eat a lot of gumbo and.
You met your wife Jillian, who's a friend of ours, actually, friend of the pod. We should have had Jillian on first. We've made a mistake. She's going to be offended. Scheduling error.
Faux pas.
But you met Jillian in college, right?
We
Greg and I worked with Jillian at the Late Show. We were in the Page program. So.
Yep.
But yeah, you guys met in college. How'd you meet? What's the story there?
we met in a comedy troupe in college, sketch comedy troupe.
Sketch comedy. Okay, good. Not improv.
Not improv. No.
Okay.
That's
So videos and like stage sketch.
You
stuff.
guys were jumping straight to video. That's great. Are any of the sketches around still?
They might be. Jill would kill me if I let you know that they existed on the internet, but they are online somewhere.
And where'd you guys go to school?
Vassar College.
That's upstate.
Yeah, in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Poughkeepsie, so pretty close to the city. I always get that and the other one further up in
Rhinebeck, New Paltz.
No. The other
Ithaca.
Ithaca. I always get Vassar and Ithaca mixed up because like we have a big group of friends that went to Ithaca, and I just always get them confused.
Ithaca's much further. Like
Yes.
Poughkeepsie is the last stop on the train line.
I can't remember if I mentioned this on the last episode that we did when we were talking about the eclipse, but we were driving from Buffalo back to the city, and like somewhere in the middle around Ithaca, we passed by this field, and it was full of seagulls, just like standing on the ground.
Ooh,
like
trash birds.
Yeah, well, it's just real weird. Like, you know, they say like, "Ooh, the eclipse makes the birds act weird," and man, like nothing weirder than like seagulls becoming farm animals. Like,
Being weird.
they weren't flying. They were just like standing around in a field, like hundreds of them. I was like,
Awkward.
yeah, I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. So anyway. So you went and lived in Amsterdam for a while,
did,
right?
yeah.
How many years were you there?
I was up there for 4 years.
And what did you do there?
What's
your job, by the way? we haven't talked about that.
No, I went out for my job.
Okay.
I worked for a company called Media Monks, which is like sort of a digital advertising company. And I was doing experiential marketing work out there. I was there the year before COVID, and then like all through COVID, we were out there.
You described it as being similar to sketch comedy. How?
I guess I'm a producer. I produce a lot of like weird events and activations. I have a lot of like needs that are like, you know, I was commissioned to put like a 40-foot inflatable art piece on the High Line. You know,
cool.
like
Okay.
weird ass shit that was like, like, you know, where
Was
you're
that
like,
when you lived here? Or
that was before when I lived here.
Okay.
But it's like, or like make a real world version of a video game, or something like that. Like things that are sort of like, I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna figure it out. But like I think
faking it till you make it is the
faking
key.
it till you make it. Yeah.
Story of my life.
But I'm just saying, like, from the number of books and classes I took in college versus the like put on a show kind of ethos of like producing, you know, like dealing with talent, getting sets, building props, like producing ended up being kind of like probably the most useful skill I learned.
Yeah. I feel like Greg and I always uncover with a guest that things that they were taught in college classes they never end up using in real life.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's a complete waste of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our podcast regularly becomes a like, don't go to college. Like just get into the thing, learn the thing, and you'll be fine.
Real life experience, much more valuable.
But things I did in college were useful.
Right, yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
Like the
things you did while you were in college.
Yeah, the things you learned from doing sketch comedy for sure. Did you smoke? Have you ever smoked marijuana?
I mean, are you allowed to say that?
On a podcast?
No,
I think you'll be fine.
I smoke marijuana. I don't smoke a lot of marijuana.
Right. No, I don't touch the stuff myself, but they have Amsterdam's known for it. Right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Did you try any while you were there?
Yeah, we smoked a little. You know, the thing about Amsterdam that's funny is it's like,
Got him.
well, it used to be. It used to be like the thing, like, oh, Amsterdam has weed, it's legal, like everyone goes there, and like now it's legal kind of everywhere. So it's like a little bit less exciting.
That's the one thing about Amsterdam that is always just, it's annoying that whenever the word Amsterdam comes up, like
I just did that.
People are always, that's the first. Everyone's like, oh, did you get high?
Or they tell you the story of the highest they've ever been, and I'm like, I know where you were, I know exactly, like, because every day, like basically in Amsterdam, like there's Central Station in the middle, and there's like a 3-block radius that is like the most horrible place ever. That is just like head shops and like 18-year-old British lads who are like more wasted than they've ever been, just are like staring off into space. And you go one block further, and it's the most beautiful, charming, like wonderful Europeans.
That's nice.
And like everyone's like, I don't know, I could have been anywhere. I'm like, no, I know exactly where you were. You are in Haarlemmerstraat. You're like right here.
I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna not talk about weed at first when someone brings up Amsterdam. I'm gonna bring up something. I'm gonna be like, did you try the Amstel Light? Is what I'm gonna go with.
Well, in Amsterdam they have Amstel.
You can get regular.
There's full-blooded Amstel.
Amstel fats? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Amstel heavy.
Crazy.
Which they don't
Amstel
sell
heavy.
here.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they call Bud. Yeah.
No, but I think it's
How is Amstel? Is that a good beer?
It's a good beer. Yeah, it's a great beer. I mean, the Dutch make great beer. The Dutch
They do.
do make really good beer. And then when we lived there, we lived on the Brouwersgracht, which is the Brewers Canal. So that's
Okay.
like historically where they made all the beer.
That's cool. Do they grow? They don't grow the weed there, do they? I mean,
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know where it comes from.
Well,
it's
then-
like they're connected to like the same illegal cartels as everyone else. Like
I heard the cartels are starting to sell avocados. Have you heard this?
I did. I heard they were selling limes also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like stealing all the water from like the cities and then using it to grow crops, like not drugs. And
Like
'cause they-
healthy foods.
well, they can make more money off of them. So like your avocados, I think they're selling them to like regular grocery stores in America too. So I'm pretty sure like if you're buying an avocado from Whole Foods, you are also supporting the cartel.
Interesting.
So yeah. So PSA, don't buy avocados. I don't know what's the takeaway from this. Amsterdam, weed, beer.
Yeah. No, the thing that's funny about Amsterdam is like you look at a lot of now that it's like now weed's illegal in like California and Colorado, everything feels like a Whole Foods or an Apple store. You know, like all these dispensaries are very like clean crisp. Like Amsterdam feels like 1990s. You know, it's very like
That sounds
Bob
cool,
Marley
though.
Rasta.
Yeah,
kind
a
of,
little more
like-
gritty.
Yeah,
I like
it
that.
feels
I
like
like
your
that.
like high school dorm room or your high school room with like a black light poster.
Yeah,
Like,
High school dorm room. Damn, dude, you're smart. What didn't they make it so Americans aren't allowed to smoke weed there?
No.
I thought they did that. I thought they were like, I thought they did. I thought they were like checking IDs at like the weed shops, and if you had like an American one, they're like, nah, we're not gonna let you do this.
No.
Sounds like a good idea though.
They're trying. I mean, they're trying to like kind of clean it up a little bit. I think like it was a competitive advantage for a while. It was like it was the only place you could go, and now that it's not, they're like trying to move like things like the red light district where like prostitution is. Like they're trying to move it out of the center because that's all the valuable real estate. Like they're like, oh shit, we've got this kind of like crunchy, grungy like underbelly here that like we'd rather be.
It's kind of like what they did in Times Square.
Yeah, it's
You
kinda
know?
like
Yeah.
Everyone always like talks about how Giuliani cleaned up Times Square, but it's like if you go to the parts around Times Square, that's where all that shit still is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's he didn't clean it; he just moved it.
Go a
Like,
few blocks west.
Go to
and-
38th and 8th. It's
Yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up and weird.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't fucked up and weird was your wedding. How about that segue?
hey.
So I went to your wedding in Italy. Fantastic. There was something about the DJ that I didn't know that I'm going to need you to disclose here.
So this is the dance floor at our wedding. We had a DJ. We also had a saxophonist.
Yes.
Who was
Which was a great addition, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I was like, "What the fuck is that guy doing?" Like when I just saw him holding a saxophone, you get a little nervous about someone just having a saxophone.
This guy just brought his
That's
saxophone.
how we.
That's what I thought. I was like, "Is that a guest that has like, you know what'd be fun? You know what they're gonna want? Me playing the saxophone."
Well, that's how we felt about it because we didn't know either. Because
Wait, you didn't know until the.
Well, no. So what happened is we hired this DJ. We'd like, I don't know, found him online or something. He's like, we like agreed on a rate. He goes, yeah, but the thing is, I got a saxophonist I like to bring.
Oh, so it was like a package deal.
Yeah, we did not go out there shopping for a saxophonist. He's just like, oh yeah, he plays with me when I play like.
See, I'm
the
not
pop hits.
I'm not as brave as you. If someone had said that to me, I would have said no. I would have been like, I'm going to find something else. I don't know what that is. There's too much that could go wrong with a saxophonist.
But yeah, it was just a risk we took, and it
paid
kinda
off.
killed. The guy
Yeah.
killed. I mean, he played like Lady Gaga on the saxophone. Like,
Yeah, it was not.
that's
It was like
amazing.
it was with the music. Like he just would do like these insane
Yeah, that's
sax
cool.
solos while that was going on.
Saxophone's one of my favorite instruments. That's,
Yeah.
that's
This
amazing.
episode brought to you by
Saxophone.
saxophones. Yeah, go get one today.
yeah, I guess they're like a DJ saxophone duo.
That's so awesome.
That's
Should we
amazing.
plug him? What was his name? Like, do you remember? Oh no!
Fabrizio
Well,
or
we'll put it in the info. Or we'll get an angry email from it, maybe. Well, we owe you a plug, DJ saxophone
Just Google
combo.
Italy DJ.
Were they Italy based?
saxophone.
Or
Yeah, he was based in Italy.
were they Rome or were they?
Probably Roman. I mean,
So they were.
could have been somewhere in the area. Like I don't know where he's from.
You know,
I'm Florence.
I'm currently a outlaw in
Are you?
Italy. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Don't you have like an
I
outstanding?
have a couple tickets that like I thought initially were some sort of scam. So I was like, I'm not paying whatever this is. This seems kind of weird because the car rental, the place we rented a car from, they initially were like, you owe us like some extra money because you got some tickets, and we just didn't really dispute it. We paid it, whatever. And then I got tickets from like the government in the mail, and I'm like, who knows what the fuck this is? What are they gonna do? I'm not gonna pay this. This is absurd. And then they just kept sending me notes, and then eventually an American collections agency is now sending me stuff.
Oh no!
Which is a little
How
more.
much is the ticket?
Well, by now it's like they're like $500 each, and like I'm like, how did I get two? Like this is absurd. But anyway, the thing is kind of a scam, by the way. So what it is like, it's definitely a way to scam American tourists who rent a car. You just like will unknowingly drive into an area that you're not supposed to be in, but like locals know, like, oh, I can't drive my car. Like you'll see other cars in there, but like for some reason my car wasn't supposed to be in this very specific area of Rome, and apparently twice, or maybe they just like made a mistake and sent me to, who knows. It doesn't, like, that's the other thing, it doesn't really, it's not explained well, but I looked it up. I looked up like just the overall, like, oh, I got this weird ticket, and this happens to a lot of Americans, and it just seems like a way for the Italians to it's so mafia bullshit. It's like, yeah, let's just you're not supposed to drive here, you got to give us like $1,000.
We had a
It's
similar,
like, what the fuck.
We had a similar rent-a-car thing in Italy as well.
Yeah.
Where we you get the car, you look around to see if it's damaged.
Yes.
And you're like, this car looks fine. We took it out, we drove around, we drive it back, come back. The guy immediately like gets down on his hands and knees, basically goes like way under the bumper, goes, "There's something here."
Yeah.
What
Like,
the fuck?
he knew exactly
He knew
what-
it was there.
yeah,
Like, he's like, "There's a scratch here." We're like, "You would like a homing pigeon?" Right to that. Like,
So I think I don't think I'm allowed to rent cars anymore in Italy, but my advice to anyone else going to Italy would be don't rent a car.
Just don't even
Just take
bother.
the fucking trains. Europe is known for them, but for some reason, I mean, driving in Italy is so much fun, and they are so good at driving. That's the other thing, like the highways, also you can go fast as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like no one gives a shit. Also, the speed limits are way higher. But anyway, like you'd be driving, and then someone would come up behind you and get out of the way, and like it just like it's so the systems work there. Like in America, everyone's an asshole and just is not like there's too many idiots who like you're coming up on them in the left lane, and they just like keep going that speed. You're like, dude, get the fuck over.
Worst. Yeah.
What are you doing? So,
Left lane cruisers.
Yeah.
Nobody likes them.
real quick, you got your uncle. Fun guy, though, but left you at the Vatican, which I went to. Fantastic. But when you were a kid, you went to the Vatican, and
I was there. I don't know. I was like 10, 11. I was like pretty young. We're there at the Vatican. I did that thing where like a kid wanders off or something.
okay. So you left him.
I don't know. We got separated. It's his job to watch me, not my job to watch him.
That's fair.
And his response to this was, and I'm sure he looked around a little bit, and then was like, "Oh, the dome is closing." And so he was like, "Well, I could miss going to the top of the Vatican or find my kid." So he went to the top of the Vatican.
Sure.
Priorities.
What did you do? Just walk around crying for a while?
Yeah, pretty much. Just wander around like St. Peter's Basilica, like the holiest place in like the Catholic.
No one
world.
like grabbed you? Not in a bad way, but
eventually I think the security guards like found me. But I was just like wandering around for like 2 hours looking at marble statues.
So there was one thing we wanted to have you on for. You and I, the whole reason I was like, oh, we got to have you on the podcast. You were telling me this story about Hurricane Sandy, and let's just. What was your experience with Hurricane Sandy?
It was a long time ago. I was living out in Brooklyn, and it was, it was one of those things where it's like crazy flooding out in the Rockaways, crazy. We were out on the night.
What neighborhood in Brooklyn were you in?
We were in Crown Heights then.
Okay.
Crown Heights. Yeah, but we ended up like riding. We did a lot of biking at the time and like rode into the city when it was empty, when it was like Times Square was like fully empty
That
of cars
night,
that
or-
night
oh, wow.
of the like of the
Because the storm ended at like 8 p.m. I want to say, maybe. A little
it got to the
earlier.
point where it was just like kind of drizzling.
Yeah.
But like the place was a ghost town, and it felt like the apocalypse. So and there'd be certain roads you could go down where like you think all the roads are level, but like it just became a puddle, right? Like if it started to dip below, it would be like.
Also in neighborhoods, it was like completely dark because the power was out.
The power was out. So we wanted to help out with like the relief effort. We rode out to the Rockaways, which is sort of the hardest hit area.
Just on your bikes?
Yeah, just took our bikes.
Jesus
Like we
Christ.
went
That night?
No, like
okay,
that
this was
weekend
2 days,
or
okay.
a couple days later. But like when people still like basically couldn't drive out there,
Right.
Because like the bridges were mostly down. And we
Did you go to the neighborhood that like the fires affected?
Where were the fires?
The fires were in Breezy Point.
Oh
So
no, we
near
weren't there.
Rockaway, yeah.
We were like Beach 86, I think.
Okay.
We lived next
Oh
to.
yeah, Rippers, dude.
Yeah, exactly. We went for tacos. We went to like
Biked all the way down there.
They weren't open.
we just figured there wouldn't be a line then, so it'd be like cool. Well, it was like
Smart.
only the like kind of actual like local surfer types who like lived out there, who are
Yeah.
like still out there, like fucking bailing out basements and
Yeah.
stuff. And we went out we lived next to a Home Depot, so we got shovels and we like strapped them to our bikes, headed out to the Rockaways, and just like helped out with the relief effort out there. It like turned out.
Great
What
job.
a hero. What a hero. My God.
What a legend.
Thank God you didn't get lost at the Vatican that day. Thank God they found you so you could rise to greatness and help the good people of Rockaway Beach. So you helped out at Rockaway Beach.
Yeah, and we were, I think the biggest thing was like all the cell towers were down. So there was actually like mostly we just like rode back and forth like sharing information. It was almost like a bike courier service.
Wow.
Yeah, because like there'd be like people would be like, we don't have any blankets, and they'd be like, oh, there's a ton 25 blocks away, but like unless you're gonna walk 25 blocks, you don't find out. But I was telling you, we ended up staying at a friend Diana's house, and there was no heat. But there was.
It's like late October.
Yeah, late October.
Early November at this point.
Could have been. Yeah. So it's like getting cold. You're on the waterfront.
Woo.
It's like pretty freezing. Like people were doing like bonfires on the beach, but like we're in our house, no heat, but there was still gas. So we.
I think that's how the fires started in Breezy
Yeah,
Point,
like,
by the way.
every time I tell the story, like I think I'm clever, and it's like, no, this is like the most dangerous shit ever. But we just kept the stove on, and like someone was like, well, we're gonna put pots of water on each of the burners so that like
Creates steam.
So it creates steam,
Yeah.
so it fills up the whole house. So we're out there like in like early November, and the place is just like a muggy jungle. We're like in like
still
sleeping
cold
bags.
somehow.
It's like freezing cold, but also like hot and wet.
Oh man, this sounds terrible.
Cold, hot, and wet.
Yeah. But Travis, you survived that ordeal, and you're stronger for it, right?
Stronger than the storm, I believe.
Stronger than the storm,
yes.
as Chris Christie used to say. God, those commercials would get stuck in my head so fucking much. Why the hell were they airing them in New York?
I mean, so I don't know.
Because it wasn't us. It was like Chris Christie was in the commercial. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're New Jersey. We're stronger than the storm. It's like, okay.
No, you need
Him
to put
walking on
down
the
the
beach.
fork, dude. You're not stronger than anybody.
Travis, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was such a fun episode. Greg, I think we did a great job.
Yeah, we did a very
Yeah.
good job, and Travis did as well.
Yes,
thank
sure.
you.
Travis, do you want people to find you on the internet? Do you want to
Any
plug your?
social media?
I don't have any pluggables really.
Do you want to plug your Instagram? Like
at Travis Raw?
at Travis
Travis
Raw.
Raw.
Follow Crawdad. All right. Good night, everybody. Talking Schmidt is recorded at Burmeister Studios in
Astoria, Queens.
Opening music is by Greg Burmeister. Closing music is by
Greg Burmeister.
Our intern is Jason Travis. If you like what you've heard, please like, follow, and write a review for us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you didn't like it, please keep listening to it, but keep your opinions to yourself. If you really liked it, you can find bonus episodes over on our Talking Schmidt Patreon page. Membership is just $5 per month, and it goes a long way to buy us the equipment and bourbon we need. Thanks in advance, and hope you're doing great. Hello there, and welcome to a very special post-episode segment.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun today, but there's more.
There, we had a lot of fun today with our guest, Travis Craw.
Yeah.
Great man. We're so thankful that he was here with us. But this segment that we're going to do is we like to try to respond to emails from people. And there's certain emails that were like, okay, well let's respond to this in the podcast.
Yeah.
So
if the people don't get answers to their emails, they're going to stop emailing us.
Yeah.
So we need to address these things.
right. So here's an email we got from Todd S.
He didn't give us his full name.
No, he did. I don't think we should. Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't think Todd, would appreciate us giving his full name. But he's from Austin, Texas. And Todd writes, "I was telling my friends in PE about you guys. How old are you?" Yeah, he wants to know how old we are. I guess we haven't said our exact ages.
I don't know if we ever have. Well, maybe we did like when it was our birthdays or something at some point. But I mean, Todd. PE was my favorite class when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Hope you're still playing dodgeball. And
sure. But let's give Todd an answer. I think, right? Are you comfortable answering Todd's question?
Yeah,
okay.
Todd, I'm 40.
Wow.
I don't look like I'm that old, but I'm 40, Todd. I'm over twice your age, I'm assuming.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I actually did know that. I don't know why I'm acting surprised. I did know that you're... Oh, interesting, Greg. Tell me more. And Todd, you'll be equally surprised to find out that I am under 40. I am 39 years old, just recently turned 39 on March 26th. That's when my birthday is. And by the way, listeners, feel free to send me gifts, even though we're well into April. But belated birthday gifts are still appreciated.
Yeah, I almost appreciate them more because they're more unexpected.
Yeah, sure. I actually got a letter in the mail the other day wishing me a happy birthday.
Ah, that was nice.
Yeah, I had a check too.
Oh, there we go. I don't know if I told you this. I just got a letter in the mail from one of our friends, Ryan, and it was dated December 2021.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just got it about a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah, about 2.5 years later.
Ryan Bynack, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're both going to be on his show on July 14th here in the city.
That's right. Everyone should come.
Yeah, July 14th. I forget where, but...
I'm not sure, but
this is great. We're starting to promote it already,
Yeah,
Greg.
there we go.
This is so exciting.
Well in advance.
Well, anyway, Todd S. in Austin, Texas. I hope we... have wowed you, amazed you with our answers, and we wish you the very best, Todd.
Keep listening and make sure you stretch before PE class.
Yeah, you don't want to pull a hamstring, Todd. Yeah. And but anyway, thanks so much for the emails, guys. Keep them coming. We love them so much, and we'll try to respond to as many of them as we can here on the air.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, have a good day, everybody.